Okay, we are live. Welcome everyone. We are here. We are here with Alexandra Laurentiu. So welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have our second Ask Me Anything with our Harmonious Unions. And yeah, today it's Alexandra Laurentiu, and I'm really much looking forward to this. And we most certainly have already very juicy questions. But yeah, for everyone who's watching, if while you're watching this, anything pops up for you, or any question comes up for you, please don't be shy and comment below in the comments, because I will keep a watch on that and try to answer as many questions as we can, or redirect them to Alexandra and Lau. First thing I wanted to mention, when you made the post, to ask people to ask questions, you mentioned how this month is actually a lot of anniversaries in one place. So you have your 3 years anniversary of being in union. You just managed to pay off, to finish your life purpose class payment.
No,
and
TFAS.
Oh, TFAS too.
No, just TFAS.
Just TFAS.
Just TFAS, okay. And it's been 6 months since you're in Harmonious Union.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with all of that, first thing I want to say is congratulations.
Thank you.
It sounds like a big one for you guys. And the first question that came to my mind is, what do you feel is the difference, or what difference do you experience between the first month of you being in Harmonious Union and where you are now? What has changed?
Maybe in the first month, but the pace, I mean, when we got into Harmonious Union, it was still a pace that we were every day, a lot of healing. It's not like now we're not doing a lot, but it felt more intense a bit, maybe.
I felt like just like in the first month, maybe we had like a honeymoon period kind of thing, So it was like, everything, like it was, it was just like we had like just a lot of happiness around that. It's not like we're not having it now, but now we're kind of went back into having like a normal like routine about like our
maybe
life.
going deeper with we're going deeper with the love and everything. It's like but I don't know, like it doesn't necessarily feel like a big difference. It feels like we're just going deeper. So it's just,
of course, like a lot of things have changed in our lives, you know, like with the Toronto workshop, like that was like an intense period for us, that in order for us to be there, we had to like do a lot of healing, and it was like very transformational and all together, But when it comes like for us, it just feels like we're going deeper into loving ourselves and deeper into our partnership. Yeah.
So another thing, maybe like it's more peaceful now overall, like we grew our peace. So,
So are you saying that it gets better and better even after coming into Harmonious Union?
Yes.
Yes, but that's the purpose of healing, right? To feel better and better. More peace. This is the purpose of what we're doing. So definitely we have more peace than that. Because also while the first month was like a honeymoon period, it was also like a high like integration and grounding period for us. Not with that we're not doing that now, but especially then, it felt like that a lot. Now it's like, okay, we are a little bit more stable, a little bit more grounded, and we're just pursuing more peace. Yeah.
Beautiful. So if you could go back to the versions of yourself when you started on the twin flame journey, and you could give them one piece of advice, what would it be?
Don't give up.
It's fucking amazing. Just keep going.
Just follow your heart, and you cannot go wrong with it.
Yeah, you cannot go wrong with it. Just do it.
That's beautiful. So that's kind of why I'm with my questions right now. So let's go into, oh my God, wait, my questions disappeared just somewhere. Yeah, okay, yeah, I found them. Okay, so we have a bunch of questions from Stephanie Coe. I'm going to start with the first one. So the first one is, what was the biggest revelation you received that the healing you learned in TFAS actually worked?
So a revelation. I think it may be even the first healing that we did when we healed with someone and just something was healed with a mirror exercise, and actually like these things were resolved in the outer, yeah, we can like outside, and we're like, oh my God, this actually works.
Yeah.
And just seeing that actually like this works, and that was a big thing for us, and just like being able to, we were just being able to commit to it after so much more, because we saw, okay, it works. We tried it and it works. So
yeah, exactly. And I feel like for me at least, it's still a revelation, and like I'm still doing the inner work and kind of having faith that all of this like is happening and it's real, and then it happens and it is real, you know, and you're like, oh my God, it is real, you know. Like this is how like I felt like, again, like with Toronto, it was like this. It's just that inner work, and then we were actually physically there, and it was like, oh my God, we are actually here. This is real life. If somebody would have asked me like at the beginning of the year, if I was thinking I'm going to go to Canada, I'm going to say like, no way, Jose, this is not happening. Be in Canada in 2019. Why on earth, you know? So, yeah.
I resonate with that feeling. I remember, like, you know, when I moved to America and stayed with my sister Rachel for 3 months, every day I was just like looking around being like, I'm in America. How did this happen? And even in Toronto, I was like, I'm in Canada, like, God, like how? But yeah, the miracle of doing the inner work. So kind of related to that, of, you know, to use the same words that Stephanie used, a moment of revelation where you did use the mirror exercise and you saw, you know, like you had this moment of like feeling like, you know, seeing that, oh my God, like Alexandra Laurentiu, like he or she's really my twin flame. So basically like a moment where like you really saw that you're twin flames by using the inner work.
Well, we had this multiple times when we saw it, but
I think like when we fully like grounded it was like in February, because like we joined the community in November last year, but I guess like in February we just like reached the peak of like full on doubt and what the fuck are we doing and who are we in this community and everything. Maybe we are twin flames, maybe we're not. And we had just like an intense week of healing in which we were like, okay, if we are twin flames, we're going to be together forever. If we're not, we're going to break up now, because Jeff and Sheila say it doesn't make any sense. So we're going to break up if we're not twin flames. So we did a lot of inner work. And for me, I did like this exercise, if I could say. Of course, like doing the inner work and the mirror exercise and achieving more peace and more clarity and letting go of the doubt and surrendering to God. But it was like this moment when I felt into my heart and I thought about the only person in the world I knew that wasn't my twin flame, which is Jeff. And
funny.
Yes, I know for sure Jeff is not my twin flame. So I thought about him, and of course, like I felt love, because we are supposed to feel love, you know, for every children of God and God. But for me, it felt like I was like on a boat, like on the ocean, you know, and just like sailing, you know, it was like peaceful, you know, serene with like a sunset and everything. When I thought about like Laurentiu, I felt like I was diving deep into the ocean, you know, like I went from the surface level and I just like dove deep, you know, and the deeper I went, you know, it was like kind of like a picture like that, like, you know, like the deeper you go into the ocean, the darker it gets, but it kind of just like becomes the universe, you know. It was kind of like that, like a picture, and it was like so calm and deep, and just like a lot of love and peace. I don't know, that was like the way that God revealed it to me then. And yeah, that's when I was like, okay, yeah, this is it, you know. This is not a boat on the ocean. This is diving deep, and it has no end, and you can go deeper and deeper, you know, forever and ever. Yeah.
That's beautiful. What was that, you know, we actually, like, for everyone watching, we actually spoke about this quickly before we went live, because I was looking for like Laurentiu's recent post with the questions, and then the first thing that popped up was a post by Alexandra where she said, like, we're doubting that for twin flames to begin with. So yeah, we talked about this a bit. So what was that entire experience for you like, Laurentiu?
Well, it was really like, okay, I don't want to waste any of us time, like our time, my time. I want us to get clear and really like be really like with the ones that we love, because there's no point in us just like making it work. It works because it's one. So I was very like, okay, yeah. I was very like, let's just do it, let's see, and just we went into blocks and just like went into hearing it. I was very like determined to just find out and just see for myself. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense. So I just like went into that, seen for myself, and yeah, just stay with that and not like kind of complain or anything else about like, oh no, things are gonna end. And the thing is, because there would have been a lot of things that I could have done that, because I was at that time I was living with her, so she was actually having every like paying for the rent and everything, and I was like not having that basically. So in that moment, even for me, it seems like, okay, I will lose everything, I won't have where to go kind of style. And I would still have at my parents, but it still like felt very bad in a way in that way. But yeah, it was the moment that I just had to surrender to God. Okay, it's like give it to God. Okay, God, if this is for me, it's for me. If not, not. So I just went and
yeah, we had to heal the fears of like even us like separating in a way.
Yeah, like,
because like if we were not twin flames, that we would need like to separate, you know. So therefore we had like a 2.5 year relationship just by, you know. So therefore it was like we have to just sit down and, you know, feel everything that is to be felt, and here with the mirror exercise here.
Yeah, so, but it was, I feel like I was very grounded in that time, and it was just like, okay, let's just do this. And that was my attitude. And I wasn't falling down from like, oh no, I hope we are and stuff. And no, we just like see, if it is, if it is, if it's not, it's not. But at least it's the truth from God, and we're not really wanting to just wait on to figure out. We're just, let's do the inner work and see.
I love that. And you know, there's actually like a really big lesson for here, that especially for people now in the beginning of their journey, when they're not entirely sure of, is that person my twin flame? And it's this lesson of, or this choice that you both made of, I choose to value the truth above being attached to a specific person or being attached to, you know, something specific. And that's like, you know, that's like something that I came across in situations related to, like, you know, other things, not my twin flame, be it so family or other things, where, you know, you always have to make that choice. Do I want the truth? Do I value the truth? Or do I value holding on to something because I want? And yeah, you're just like, you know, sharing this story perfect demonstrated that you don't have to be afraid of the truth, and it's actually the truth you always want that is setting you free and giving you the peace you want. And if it's not the truth to begin with, yeah, it's safe to find that out and let it go. And well, in your case, you, as we all know, found out you're actually twin flames, so
yes,
that worked out.
Yeah, about this, like something in a way in my heart I always knew, but something funny about this that I remember, like before Alexandra, with every girl that I had this thing like, I'm not going to be with this person forever. But when I got together with Alexandra, actually being in union, I had this feeling like I'm going to be with this person forever.
Yeah.
But even then, even if I had that feeling, you know that we had to work through more to that. When we found out, okay, let's see if we're twin flames. But still, that's a big difference for me between like knowing that I'm not going to be with someone, a soulmate maybe, or like my twin flame. I know that I'm always going to remain with this person no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So next question, still from Stephanie Cole, question number 2. Do you plan to do in real life YouTube videos on your own channel? Because I love your dynamic and I feel like I connect with your personality so much. I'd love to see how living in Harmonious Twin Flame Union looks for you. So is that something that, I don't know, project you're like, I don't know, thinking about?
Yeah, after we received that question, we looked at it and we were like, maybe now it feels good for us to start doing that. So we thought about
we definitely like thought about it like in like different like moments in
we
time.
thought it, but before maybe didn't felt
appropriate. Now I feel like we're gonna start soon something into the YouTube realm and we'll see. Yeah, I choose that.
Very much looking forward to that. Okay. And the third question from Stephanie is, was there ever a moment when you felt like you'd give up on your journey? What did you do to keep going? What thought process did you work through to ground your commitment?
Well, we definitely had moments like that. But I mean, for me, in a way, it was a bit, I don't know, I don't want to say necessarily simple, but it was like, if this is not life, I don't want to live. And basically, I live. So therefore, like, I kind of continue. Meaning that there was no point for me to live without having my perfect love into my life. So I know, for me, at least I'm a bit of extremist. So I go to the extreme of like, I don't want to live otherwise. And then it's just like, okay, because in that moment, what happens for me, at least, I surrender a lot. I surrender to God everything. And God just shows me what's next. Because I cannot do anything. In the moment that I'm at the lowest point, I cannot do anything. So the only thing actually I can do there, surrender.
Yeah.
And for me to bring that surrender, that was the way I thought at that moment to really help me surrender everything, my life. Because
it's definitely, you can definitely always have access to God and to see what does He require of you in that situation, you know, when you feel like most doubtful, you know, the voice of God is always there and you can always hear it. And like before TIFA, before everything, you know, like I also like used to go like in these like very dark places, you know, and I would like I had like no other choice than to like also like surrender, you know, to surrender and see what it is here for me, you know. Is this living in fear, in illusion, and in separation, and in disease? Is this truly life? Is this truly what God wanted for us? Is this truly how we are supposed to live? And every time I got no. And therefore I was able to like just raise up from that, you know. There is no way that God would want you to suffer or live in fear or separation or any kind of illusion or ego. But this is it, that you have to fully surrender that, surrender everything. When you are in your most doubtful moments, you have to just surrender, not listen to the angry voice, not listen to the sad voice, not listen to the anxious voice, just surrender them all and see what happens afterwards. And of course just just release all control there. And yeah, since we arrived in this work, it has been like extremely easy because you just do the mirror exercise and you don't have to go through anything as long as you choose to feel your feelings and choose love and follow Jeff and Shalia's teachings. It's really easy. You don't have to do anything, then just follow the teachings. It's so easy.
Yeah, the only moment that maybe it can be hard when you're not feeling your feelings. And
yeah, when you're not feeling your feeling, that's when it gets hard. That's when it's just like, no. And we definitely had moments like that. And we are definitely still now to some places in our consciousness, for sure.
And we're still going deeper with this, but it's really about us to feel what God wants us to feel and really go through the things that we're presented to. Because still, even if it's easy, the process, sometimes it gets a bit difficult when you're in that moment. You're like, oh my God, what I'm going to do now? And you just have to bring yourself up again to like, okay, only love is real. I can do this. Only God is here. So I have to let go of the illusion that is presented in front of me so I can just feel the peace and feel the love.
Yeah. And I also recommend for everybody that has twin flame, finding your ultimate lover, doing like a book flip. And I know, like, I was feeling a little bit down yesterday, and I just like did a book flip, and it was like at this passage that says like kind of like letting go of all resistance and surrendering, and always remembering that you are divine, you know, you are a perfect child of God, you know. And that just like made me like cry instantly, because I had like so many feelings coming up these days, you know. And it was just so reassuring to have that in my life, you know. And you can have this like with every piece of the teachings of Jeff and Shia. Open up a class, listen a sermon, watch the Toronto talks, flip the book, watch a lesson from the e-courses. It's gonna be perfect for you when you are in those moments. And yeah, we are here now because of this community and because of Jeff and Shalia. So therefore, whenever you are down and whenever we are down, we have to truly come back to it.
Yeah, to the teachings. And
to the teachings.
Yeah, now that we know that we have these teachings, whenever we feel bad, we just watch a class or something like one of
and
these.
It's always going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And listen with your heart, of course, because if you listen with your mind, it will be like...
Yeah. It's going to speak to your heart anyway.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh, I loved everything you shared. And, you know, it's funny because recently I was looking through some stuff, and I really started using the book in the same way of just like, you know, God, what do you have to tell me? And then just like, you know, flip it open at random pages. And it's like better than every, like, I don't know, oracle card deck or cards or anything you can get out there. It's so on point every single time. It's almost like creepy. I'm always like, oh my God, like, you really see me, like, oh my God, like. And it's like, you know, like, really, that's what, you know, I was guided to link the book above, like, our live video. God was just like, link a book. So, you know, everyone who's watching, if you haven't bought this one yet, the link is there. If you're watching this on Facebook, on YouTube, obviously, on YouTube, where we will be uploading this, the link is down in the description box. It's below. No, what's the call? It's above, so below. The book is everywhere. But I think that was just my point to like just say, oh yeah, I just wanted, you know, to add to that. It's like just like Jeff and Shia's book is like really, it might seem like it has only like 200 or something pages, but it goes so in depth. It's like, I remember when I read it like the second time, I was like, did I ever read this book? Like, it seemed like it was a new book, and that happens to me every time I reread a passage. So it's like a very, very good investment if you don't have it. But with that being said, let's move on from the book. Something that I really loved about what you just shared was this big lesson of let go of resistance. Resistance is the only thing that is making things hard. And, you know, not feeling your feelings is one form of resistance, numbing out. But that's really, you know, what this teaching is making so easy for us to let go of resistance, and be it through watching a TFAS class, reading the book, doing the mirror exercise. That's the ultimate lesson we need to learn, to let go of resistance and all these people who've been resisting love and God. So yeah, I just loved everything you shared. With that being said, we can move on. You have a lot of people congratulating you on all the milestones all your new milestones and success and love you've built for yourself. So yeah, I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, everybody. We saw them and we love you very much. Thank you. Thank you for all the wishes.
So we have a question from Amanda. She would love to hear about your ascension process since Harmonious Union, and how you're partnering with God. And so the question thing is, how is that infinite power accessed and applied in your life purpose and union?
Well, we're definitely going deeper with that. And I feel like we're learning better how to partner, and like now we're actually getting more closer to understand even better what does that mean. But since we got into Harmonious Union, we just follow what God told us, and then we just had to transcend some places within us, because we still have some resistance into partnering even deeper. Things were changing. Like at the beginning, we were both just doing more coaching, let's say, and then things shifted, and new opportunities, new ways to do stuff with divine gaming. And what happened was that we were a little bit like, oh no, let's do both, but in a way like I was more like present into the coaching, into divine gaming, and then we were a bit like how to actually balance this and how to access this like infinite energy to do this. And what we found out actually like not long ago, it was for us to really like just see how God wants us to do that, just surrender to God, just allow God to guide us, to guide our life here, and just like do this instead of us trying to figure out, because that was a bit of a problem for us. We were trying at some point to figure out how to do this rather than letting God. That's the problem there, where you block yourself from the source when you're trying to figure out instead of letting God. Because when you just let God, things can just flow.
God always guides you perfectly, and just trust that as you finish the current step you're on, you are going to find your next step. God is going to show it to you in the perfect time. And we definitely feel like we expanded a lot since our Harmonious Union, also when it comes to our life purpose. It definitely feels like a lot of expansion and a lot of clarity, and we are just going deeper into grounding everything, grounding our life purpose more and more, and sharing ourselves with the world.
In the way that God calls us to do.
And also like don't fear change. This was like a thing, like we were like so like stoked in a way, like, oh, I feel so good now, let's do this thing, and we did it, and after it ended, it didn't feel good, and we had like this problem of thinking like, oh, we fucked up that we did that. Even if it felt good, now it doesn't feel good, so everything was wrong that we did, which is not. But it's normal for things to change, and when you don't feel good about it anymore, it's okay to consider changing when you heal completely around that. Because as I said, like God will provide to you the next step. But in order for the next step to be provided, you have to transcend the current step. So therefore you have to fully heal in the current step. Because you want to transition from a place of peace, not from a place of running away from an upset. So there was a lot of changes that occurred, which were a little bit off-putting, maybe for me at least, because I'm very used to, I have my corporate job and I work 8 hours a day, and I'm kind of like very static like that. And a lot of change kind of is just like, what's happening? What's wrong? you know. But it's okay to change. It's okay to
just go with the flow. And
yeah,
because like it's funny with us. Most of the time she was like this, like she was just going straight with the stuff, and I was just changing at every step. So I was very much like, this doesn't feel good, I drop it, I go to the next one.
Yeah.
This feels good now, okay, this doesn't feel good anymore, I just dropped it and go forward. Like to give an example, I was at university with her, and then it didn't feel good, I stopped. I went to England, it felt good. I went to a job there that it felt good, and I stopped. I went to the next job, it didn't feel good anymore, I stopped. Then I went to the next one, but it wasn't necessarily a smooth transition.
yeah.
And this is something that we're learning together, because for her, she was like just going straight and keeping with that thing. I was just like, keep changing. But it was very like, today I'm at work and everything is okay, tomorrow I'm not at work, kind of stuff. And we're really learning to balance this thing, to have a easy transition with the changes, and not like make it like very.
And this is how like we pattern with each other like very well, because I'm like very, do this and just this, and why are you thinking of change right now? Why? Isn't it like the current path good because you were guided to be here? I'm like questioning like his pattern of like our pattern of like, so we're like complementing each other very well. I'm like, are you sure you want to change right now? Is this what you truly want?
She always does that. And sometimes I'm like, do I want to? Because she asked me, do I really want to? So I really have to go within myself and see that. And as I see that, it's okay. No matter what the answer is, like if it's peaceful, she's with me there.
Yeah, exactly. When we're peaceful, well, I'm like, yeah, it's okay, do it. Like, fine. When there's not fully peace there, I'm just gonna.
Oh, and I'm more like this with her when she doesn't change, when she doesn't want to change.
Yeah, exactly. When I don't change and I sit there like feeling bad or something, it's like, and he's like, so yeah, it feels good.
Wow, this is really funny and very like a very valuable lesson to offer, like when it comes to change, and both like going with change but not running from stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. We actually got some wait. Okay, here it is. We got some questions live from Chrissy. Hello, okay. Chrissy. Happy you're watching. So her first question is, what's your favorite video game to play together?
Oh. Well, I know in my heart, which I put out.
What?
Borderlands.
Oh, Borderlands. Yeah. I agree with that. Borderlands. Yeah. Because that's like actually like a game that we played and play together. Because we didn't like have like a setup like to support heavy gaming until recently. For both of us, we had like one. So therefore what we would do is just like one of us would play and the other one would watch. And we have, which is like also like good, because they were like, I like maybe shooters and stuff like that and heavy duty games in a way, but I don't like necessarily playing them, but I like watching them. So he plays while I watch. And maybe easier games that are more like story driven, or like
choices based
and crafting and stuff like that. I like them.
I mean, we both like them, but it's more like she wants to try it out. But definitely a game that we really enjoy a lot to play together is Borderlands, and we love to play, especially Borderlands 2. That we had a lot of fun, and it's just like a fun game to play, and a lot of.
It's fun. It has a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, and
awesome.
Trying to think, because like right now we try to play more games together, but it was like
we had a little bit of time when we were concentrated on other stuff too. I mean, more like on device gaming, coaching things in our life, but we but
the idea is that we don't have like, oh, I know what game we like to play together, speedrunners.
You like to play that game. I mean,
Oh my God, I love that game. Yeah, it's not like a fancy game, it's just like an easy game. So yeah, Borderlands is more like an intense game, and Speedrunners is like, yeah.
Well, it's fun, but I won't play it forever like I would play Borderlands.
That's true. That's more just like a snack game.
Exactly.
Not like a favorite meal game. Yeah.
Okay, not to interrupt you like game talk, but I think we need to move on so we can get through our questions.
Yes.
So the next question from Chrissy is, what is your go-to product, Twin Flames Universe product, when you require support moving through an upset in your Harmonious Twin Flame Union?
TFAS. I could put a TFAS class. That's definitely it. And oh yeah, the book I said, like, because it's easy, like if you have like just like an intervention while we are like doing inner work, you can easily like flip it, you know. But maybe when we are processing a lot of stuff, we just go with the classes. And I am like very astonished by the fact that we are like watching the classes in order. And what are you doing? Let us down. And the next class that I'm supposed to watch is perfect for what I'm going through. It's as you said, it's kind of creepy, but I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, it's nice. But now maybe we haven't necessarily practiced so much, but with the sermons, that it's really like
yeah, we're just like tiptoeing into the sermons.
I mean, we're kind of watching it. I mean, I'm watching it more, but anyway.
He's watching the sermons more. I watch the classes more. Listen, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for answering that question. The next question we have is from Sarah. She's asking, how do you know you are getting close to union, specifically if your twin wasn't open with their feelings?
Well, in a way, like
I can respond from the unawakened twin perspective, and you respond from the awakened twin.
Okay.
We awakened twin perspective. Proceed.
Okay, so for me, looking back at how it happened, it was really like I was just feeling good with myself. I was just enjoying life with myself and God, and that's I didn't have like I knew that I had like. My ultimate lover somewhere, but I just surrendered it to God whenever it's going to come, because I didn't knew about twin flames in this way back then. So
when we came into a union.
Yeah, so for me it was more like I just feel good with myself and I just surrender. If I am to be with someone, God will just provide me with that at the appropriate time. And it just like that was the feeling of peace and surrender before I came into union. But surrendering to like I wasn't dependent on anyone else to make me happy. I wasn't dependent on like a partner or lover to make me happy, like twin flame. Now to make me happy, it was just I was happy with God. And in that moment, like even when I started speaking with Alexandra, she wasn't open to me at all. But we just spoke about stuff that I loved and didn't care necessarily so much about trying to get something from her. Of course, I didn't know with twin flames, but in the same time, I was just surrendered with her. And even if she had a hairbrush back then, it was more like, okay, I'm just gonna speak with her no matter what. I'm not getting like my good from her. I'm getting my good from God within me. So I was feeling good with myself when I was speaking with her. So therefore, she didn't had to give me anything for me to feel good, because I was already feeling good. So I wasn't feeling bad if she wasn't talking with me or anything else. So the feeling was just peace with myself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you. That was very valuable and deep and essential. So Alexandra, how was it from your perspective of the unawakened person?
For me, my life started to go to shit. And I feel like not because it wasn't like that before, but just like I feel like getting in touch with Laurentiu again just like made me realize how horrible I was living and how low I was accepting like everything in my life. So therefore, when I had like a lot of fear about coming into union, but at some point it became very clear for me is that either I choose to stay with this guy that I don't really feel happy with, and I don't feel like we can build a future together. Nothing is working. Either I stay with that, and basically I choose to die. It felt like literally, if I were to choose, I would choose to die or be with Laurentiu, basically, because that's how like bad it felt. Like where I was, it felt just like so bad, and like. Then when I made like the choice like internally to be with him, like I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna dump this guy and I'm gonna go be with him. No, I don't know, because he was in England, so he was like,
yeah, she was in Romania, I was in England, and we were basically in different parts of
I was like, okay,
the world. I mean,
I was not even thinking necessarily that like, I wanted to be with him. I just like wanted to get out of that fucking situation first. And then as we like started to bond together, I felt like it felt like just so good to be together, because like before that we have been like best friends. So therefore for me, it felt like, I felt like a lot of support from Laurentiu from getting out of that situation, and support even, like materially, because I had nowhere else to live, and he offered to stay at his house basically until
my mother.
Yeah, your mother's house, until we transcended that. So yeah, that's how it felt for me. It was just like a lot of things, and the fact that he didn't push me, he didn't do anything. Like I confess my undying love to Laurentiu, and because of that, it was just like so easy for us to come together. Yeah. Because I had to choose it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't give you other choices.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't give you, like, didn't push you with that, but the thing is, because I told her before that I liked her, but then I stopped. I didn't bother her in that way. I just like, okay, if she's gonna if she loves me, I let her tell me, but I'm not gonna push this because this won't feel good for me or for her.
Yeah, that's how it worked for us.
Did you have like, because you said like you were best friends for quite some time, and then you obviously moved into a twin flame romantic relationship. Did you have any, like resistance, or like, I wouldn't call it like struggle, but like, like how was it transitioning from being friends to being lovers?
Oh, easy.
It was very easy.
It's the easiest. It's like, I was like thinking like about it like a few days ago. It's like we were best friends, so we had like cake, and then when we became like lovers, it was like cake with glazing on top,
So we just put the glazing. It was very easy to come lovers, because before we didn't like, I mean, even if she was teasing me sexually a bit when we were just best friends, I have to say that. Yeah. we never like had anything intimate that like romantic in that way. So therefore, like, we were very like, we weren't having any I don't know how to say, like when we come together, it was just fresh. It was something new for us as well. So it felt very good from knowing each other very, very well. Because that was the thing with us. As we were best friends, we just learned about each other.
There was like a lot of trust built between us because we were best friends before. So therefore, when we came into union, it was like, it makes sense. I trust you a lot. So therefore, why wouldn't I be with you? Like, it's like obvious. So yeah, he got out of the friend
zone. Good job.
Thank you.
But yeah, that's really like showing this, how like your twin flame is. We have all these these like different things that your twin flame is: your best friend, your teacher, your student, your guru, your lover. And like, you know, so many people start really with that like friendship basis. And like, so, you know, it really tells that just being friends is like, it's like a really good thing because it's building like the cake, like the glazing is what you put on top of it, but you need the cake first to be able to, you know, because otherwise there's no way you can put your glazing. So it's like foundation is so important, and friendship is that foundation.
Because like for that foundation you need like respect, like trust, like honesty, communication, you know, all of that. Like you need that to have like a friendship, a true friendship. So therefore that's what you need to have, like also like a relationship, you know, union and harmonious union. So therefore it's makes sense and it's natural for twin flames. Like,
Awesome. Next question we have. Okay, so this is from Sydney. I have read in the book about the foundations of harmonious union. Oh, so funny. We've just been talking about this. What do the two of you feel are the biggest components to the foundation of your union?
I feel like honesty.
Honesty is a core value of us, so I think that's why it's bumped up a lot for us. It's
honesty. Like even like when we were friends, we were just like laying stuff. Like this is where I am right now. I don't like you, but I want to be friends with you, okay? And we were just like straightforward, to the point always. And this has been like something for us at least, like that's very, very important. And we always knew that if we have been always honest with each other, so therefore it was so easy.
I was looking into the book for the 8 keys to
I was just looking at that before we started, and I actually mentioned it in the description box, and I was just about to open it and ask you about every single one of them. But since you know, like you've opened it, you know, too, honesty is actually one of them.
I know that's one of them. That's why I said it.
So the 8 keys of
So we have honesty, we have trust, we have commitment, we have persistence. Oh, that's a big one. That's an important one. We have compassion. Then we have unconditional love, forgiveness, respect, and that's it.
But all of them are big, to be honest.
All of them. I mean, to know, like choosing one is no, you have to have all of them for harmonious union. You truly have to build everything in that.
But it's really like one of the things that I could say, like it really helped me a lot. It was unconditional love. Because I was just unconditionally loving Alexandra, even if she didn't want to be with me at the beginning. So therefore, like we could have that friendship. Like I didn't needed something from her in that manner. Oh my God, already 50 minutes.
I know, right? This like time flies by.
When you're having fun. Okay.
So next questions. We have a couple from Petra. So her first question is, how do you manage to bring all together, like your spiritual work, free time, time for yourself, quality time as union, working time, resting time, and so on?
Well, you just do it and you find out what feels good and then you balance it out. You just have to find out for yourself.
And don't be afraid again, like to change. There have been like moments when we like had to like make changes like in our schedule, for example, to allow us to have a stable date night, you know, or things like that, just like the time for us, you know, that is like very valuable. But you know, like every time like we did changes in order to allow ourselves to, it's a thing like about boundaries here. You have to put boundaries with activities that you have, like with your life purpose, with your,
I mean, to put yourself, you know, like before your life purpose. This is something that Jeff said in a class, like Because if you put the life purpose before you, it will just stay constantly because your life will just gonna take, and then you're not gonna have time for anything else. You're gonna feel exhausted. You're gonna
so definitely everything is equally important.
Yeah, but really you have to try it for yourself and find your own balance in there. It's not a formula that it says like 70% of this, 20% of this, 10% no.
Yeah, and you have to allow yourself to experiment with this and feel, because like for us, we don't know yet. We don't have yet like a perfect schedule and everything, like even like today, like it keeps changing. And for example, a big change that we had was like joining the Wednesday 7 p.m. discussion group, because that's like at 2 a.m. for us, which is like very late. So therefore it has been like we had to make some shifts in our schedule, but actually it felt like very good then, because we had like some other meetings with people from the USA and everything just like fitted perfectly. So Wednesday is kind of like the USA day with a lot of things.
USA day, that's funny.
Yeah, so yeah, just allow yourself to experiment and go with what feels good, and don't be afraid to change.
Perfect. Next part of Petra's question is, are you aware of God through your day all the time?
Well, we're learning even more this, but yes, now like really asking God, what I should do now, or like if I feel like I don't know, of course I'm gonna ask God again, but really like getting clear with God, and that's something very important for us now. Really going deeper with this, it's asking God at every step, what should I do, what feels good, and even if God tells you, okay, do this and then do that, and then change to that, and just do that, and then it's okay. But it's really getting to really speak with God, creating this relationship to really go deeper with the relationship of God. And the more you go deeper with that, the easier it is to see God in everyday life.
And I feel like for us, it's like also there is we have to like choose to constantly go deeper and to feel more, and to choose to just to choose to have God in our lives, or on a much deeper level, and choose to have that relationship. And we are going deeper with that day by day, moment by moment.
Perfect. Last part of Petra's question would be, what changed for you guys since you are in Harmonious Twin Flame Union?
Well, there is a lot.
I mean, so much.
That is like one of the things is so much more peace. We're much more peaceful in every area of our life. That's something like every area of our life is much more peaceful, and we're going deeper with that peace. And it's more stable. It's really more stable than before. That's something.
Awesome. Let me really quickly check if we have any other questions with our live video. Because okay, wait, is it? Here we go. Okay, no, we actually do not. So we still have 5 minutes. So anyone watching, last 5 minutes, ask your questions or be forever silent. I have one question that just popped to mind. So what do you feel was your biggest block to your harmonious union?
Seeing
that we're separate, like we don't live our
that life. We are not separate.
The block.
The block, seeing that we're separate. Okay, I mean,
I mean, seeing that basically she was going at the job and I was staying home and I was doing stuff for house.
We had like this moment when we were not together phically, and that was like a separation moment,
And that was the block that we had, basically, like thinking, not feeling, thinking that we're kind of separate in that moment, rather than seeing that we're together even there, because we have just one life. And just like seeing that we have one life was the biggest thing for us, I feel, to come to Harmonious Union, because when you realize that you have one life, together. It's like just, I mean, you see that no matter where your twin flame is, you're together. You're working together for your life, just one life, not two lives separate.
Yeah,
basically.
it's truly the feeling of oneness and realizing that you are one. That's the major block, like, to every harmonious union. But it's like, and I know that it sounds like cliche and everything, but you feel when that changes within you, and you have like that certainty of your oneness. You know, it's not something that you can like
fake to feel.
Yeah, exactly, because like we tried. We failed. We've been there. We claimed to be in harmonious union when we were not. So
we thought, but we were not, and that's the thing. Like you can think that maybe you may have a glimpse of it, and then you think because you had that glimpse, now I have it, but no.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like that. It's something much deeper. Like even that glimpse, it feels now so little between actually the real thing.
Yeah.
The harmonious union itself. So it's something totally different than.
Yeah, it's that feeling, and it's that feeling, that awareness that when it hits you, it's gonna hit you, and you're gonna feel it and know it. And
it's something that even someone tells you like, oh no, of course, if it's Jeff, you have to listen to Jeff. You cannot go around.
I mean, listen, but it's okay to just see if there is truth there when somebody tells you something, you know, and go deeper.
And if something bothers you, just hear that. Don't wait them to change their mind. It's more like you feel bad about something. Like when we claimed the post with the harmonious union, Jeffrey said, okay, are you kind of stuff, and we had a lot of upsets, but we had to heal those upsets because those upsets were inside of us. It's not that they made us feel bad. We were already having those feelings, and they were just coming up to the surface for us to hear those.
And this was it. The oneness and the truth of having that awareness and experiencing that awareness. Because it's one thing, like this is like something that I'm discovering every time that I'm doing inner work. It's one thing to like know in your mind what happiness is, like love is, what peace is, you know, and it's one to like feel it in your heart. It's like so different because you can like, we live like in a world of like pretending, you know, people pretend to be happy, they pretend to be whatever, you know, and in their heart they're like very, very numb and sad. So therefore to fully have that feeling is like, it's not something that you can fake, as you said.
It really goes, you know, it goes back to one of the 8 keys for your you know, whatever that's in the book, the 8 keys for harmonious union. Honesty, which not only you know, it's not only related to honesty with your twin flame, but also honesty with yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Perfect. You've answered every question we have. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for the questions.
There were a lot of really juicy questions. So thank you everyone for asking your questions. We've reached exactly the 1 hour mark. So God is perfect. Thank you so much for answering all of these questions. It was amazing. I learned a lot. I always enjoy doing these kind of you know, like just being the person to ask the questions and everything, because I learned so much from these things and from you every time I talk with you. So thank you so much for sharing your love with all of us.
You're welcome, and thank you as well. And thank you so much, Denisa. You're doing such an amazing job.
Thank you. I really love what I'm doing. That's why.
It's been seen.
Thank you. That's the key to your life purpose. Love the shit out of what you're doing. And
exactly.
You know, it's funny, like last thought, before I found TFAS, I always had this, like, you know, I realized there was this quote of like, do the thing you would do without that you would do even if you don't get paid for it. And you know, that's like your life purpose, the one thing you would do even if you don't get paid for it, which is kind of like, where I'm at, but that's okay. I get paid in love and other things. So I'm happy. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone watching. And this will be uploaded on YouTube, so you can rewatch this as many times as you want. And with that being said, I send everyone out into the world. And love you.
We love you.
Love it too.
Thank
Bye
you
bye.
so much. Bye.
Thank you.